Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today is the year 2026. The month is May. The day is the 15th. And it is a wonderful Friday. I'm your host, just a laid-back guy sitting in his room, talking to a microphone. And today we are introducing a trending article from the archives. Oh. Before we get into it, I was thinking about brain waves today. Then it made me think of Magnetoencephalography, which honestly sounds like Magneto for new movies open in a bakery, and accidentally using way too much Magnet in his pies. Anyway, nobody ever laughs at that one. Let us get straight to the paper for today. The title is Bypassing Direct Reconstruction Speech Detection from Magneto Large-Scale Audio Retrieval. The call is Chap Snacks it. Quick side that 605.13,000 It is long, so let me just dive right into the deep end here. Because this paper is absolutely fascinating, but it completely flips the script on how we read brain waves. The core problem this paper is trying to solve is decoding speech from non-invasive brain signals, which is incredibly challenging. You're listening to someone talk. Your brain transforms these auditory inputs into abstract language representations. And we can actually measure this using Magnetoencephalography, or MAG for short. The issue is that the signals we get from the outside of the human head are super noisy, and they have a very low signal-to-noise ratio. For a long time, scientists have tried to use regression tasks to solve this, meaning they take the brain signals, and they try to directly rebuild the audio features, like Mills spectrograms, straight from the brain data. But the accuracy is usually terrible, sitting around 0.2 to 0.4 at best, which is nowhere near good enough to actually generate intelligible speech. So, instead of banging their heads against the wall trying to reconstruct audio from scratch, this team decided to try something totally different for the Lidebergline 2025 speech detection competition. They asked themselves, what if we do not build the audio from the brain waves, but instead we just use the brain waves as a search query? Oh, it is like using Shazam for your brain. They proposed a novel two-step framework that completely bypasses direct reconstruction. In the first step, they use a match mismatch task. They take a small segment of the test mag data, and they use a Contrastive learning model to retrieve the exact matching speech segment from a massive external audio library, specifically the LibriVox audiobook database. They trained a convolutional neural network as the Magnetoencephalography, and they used a pretrained waveform model to make speech representation by maximizing the similarity between matched pairs and minimizing it for mismatched pairs. They created a latent space where brain waves and audio waves can be directly compared. He used a fun loss function, which is a popular technique in contrastive learning. To fine-tune this alignment, once they found the exact audiobook chapter the person was listening to, they moved to the second step. Instead of trying to guess what the silences were from the noisy brain data, they just ran a speech detection model directly on the high-quality retrieved audio, generating a flawless binary sequence of 1s for speech and 0s for silence. This method is absolutely brilliant, because it uses the constraints of a known dataset to do the heavy lifting. They tested this by splitting thousands of audiobooks into 5-second segments, and they matched them against the test brain data. They looked for a longest ascendance, let's say, query of matching indices, to prove that the audio was playing in tempo order. With this clever trick, their team named Sherlock Holmes achieved first place in the extended track, scoring and phone scored 0.962, which is just incredibly high. When we compare this with other technologies, like direct feature regression using deep learning, this retrieval method is leaps and bounds ahead in terms of reliability. Direct reconstruction tries to paint a picture from a blurry memory, while this method just uses the blurry memory to find your original high-definition photograph in a giant filing cabinet. Now, let us talk about how this technology could be applied to everyday life, because I can think of at least 3 specific application examples based on the content of this paper. First, this could revolutionize communication aids for patients with locked-in syndrome. bear severe motor disabilities. Instead of trying to decode their brainwaves into choppy, robotic synthesized speech, a brain-computer interface could match their neural patterns to a massive pre-recorded database of natural words and phrases. When the patient wants to speak, the system retrieves the exact high-quality audio clip that matches their brain state, allowing them to communicate with a natural-sounding voice, which would hugely impact their quality of life and social interactions. Second, we could see this applied to smart media sentiment and passive interaction. Imagine you are listening to an audiobook or a podcast, and your smart headphones have built-in non-invasive neural sensors. If you get distracted and stop processing the speech, the system knows because your brain waves no longer match the audio stream. It could automatically pause the playback, or rewind to the exact moment you stopped paying attention. This ensures you never lose your place in a story, making media consumption totally seamless and perfectly tailored to a cognitive state. Third, this concept could be used for cognitive load monitoring in high-stakes educational or professional environments. For example, air traffic controllers or pilots need to process complex verbal instructions continuously. By continuously matching their brain signals against the incoming radio transmissions using this retrieval framework, a safety system could detect that the operator failed to neurologically process a specific command. If the mismatch is detected, the system could alert the supervisor or repeat the message, preventing catastrophic human errors in real time. It is just wild to think about how taking a step back and treating brainwaves as a search engine query, rather than an audio file, opens up so many doors. The researchers even discovered that the original test data had random signed segments inserted into it, some as short as 0.3 seconds, and they painstakingly recreated this by aligning the text transcripts. It is that level of detail that wins competitions. Well, that is all the time I have for today. I hope you found this dive into novel audio retrieval as mind-blowing as I did. Make sure to check the archives for more hidden gems, and I will see you all in the next broadcast.